Mr. Pozek, how are you?
What's up, man? How are you?
Fantastic. Hey, by the way, I attended Content Lab. Very
Oh,
helpful. Loved it.
oh man, I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah, for sure. Man, a lot of powerhouses on that panel. Jeez.
Yeah, it's been fun, man. It really has been. I don't even have my normal camera here. I apologize. I was traveling and I've got my gear not set up, but I'm excited to hang out with you.
Don't even worry about it, man. I know how it is. You have kids, got to deal with that. So,
That's right.
hey, so in doing my research on you, I try to do research on all the people that come and talk with me. I found out you're originally from Detroit.
I am. Yeah, I saw you had the U of M cap on the other day. I was like, look at this guy.
My alma mater.
Are you for
So,
real? When did you go?
yeah, probably like late 90s ish.
Okay.
So
Dude,
we were probably
so
there
cool.
about the same time. Now, you said
Oh yeah,
you grew up
we
in
only
that
we only
area,
moved down
right?
here like 8 years ago.
Yeah. Now, are you originally like from Detroit proper, or are you from the suburbs?
Yeah, no, I mean, so I grew up in the city. Like it's called it was like over Evergreen and Warren area. So it's called Warrendale. So like nobody would know what that is, but it had a Detroit address until I was like maybe 8 or 9. Then we moved to Dearborn, and then my wife and I moved to Northville, which is actually like the suburbs. It's like actually very beautiful and nice. But yeah, I was in and around the city itself for quite some time.
Yeah. Well, when I was there, it wasn't quite that nice to hang out there. So, yeah.
Downtown wasn't
So,
that nice, that's for sure. It's thankfully improved, that's for sure.
e- exactly. Now, do you miss when people ask you where you're from? You get to do this hand thing.
You get to do the hand thing. Yeah, exactly. That's how you know it's you're talking to a true Michigander there.
Exactly. Cool. Well, hey, well, thank you so much for coming and talk with me. I've been a huge mega fan of yours for so many
Oh,
years. Originally,
great, man.
I actually came across your channel because I was part of the Tom Ferry network, and my
Oh, yeah.
coach was like, yeah, my coach was saying that Ken guy, you got to follow him. And from that point on, I've been a true follower.
Thank you,
So,
man. That means a lot.
what love how your business has grown. So, anyways, let's move forward because I know time is a little of an issue for you. So,
Yes,
kind of
sir.
give people quick intro on you. Ken runs a mega team. So in 2023, Ken had his team did over 200 million in volume, and that is crazy numbers, not just in Orlando but nationally. So people really need to understand what that means. So Ken, did I miss anything? You want to plug anything there?
No, man. Yeah, just we're in Orlando. We last year we sold just nearly 500 homes for like 252 million. This year we're already at 450 sides and just clipping up against 300 million for the year. So we're still growing even in a very weird market. And a lot of what we do is content marketing and just trying to build community more than anything. And in that, it seems to be we found our tribe.
And I do want to talk about that business because I feel like you've been on like ahead of the curve on so many things. So going back prior to 2008, I mean, your business, you had a successful business of working with asset managers, foreclosure, short sales. You had the foresight to be moving to Florida before it became in vogue, right?
Yeah.
You had the foresight to build your business around videos, right? We weren't really thinking about that, say, 6, 7 years ago. So you've been ahead of the curve on all of these things. So that's why I'm really curious, kind of just asking about your business. When you look at the Ken Pozek experience online, right? It's an experience. Quite frankly, when I did, this is the funny thing. I was trying to do research on you, and I went down the Ken Pozek experience rabbit hole, and I was on your channel for like 2 hours. It was
Oh man.
crazy.
That was a
It's
spike in my
awesome.
algorithm. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. But yeah, you have such amazing content. But anyways, regarding your channel, I mean, you clearly have a brand, and when anybody watches your channel, you automatically know you're the knowledge broker for Orlando. And my curiosity is that, did you plan that kind of, or like there was a path for that, or did it happen just kind of organically?
Yeah, I think when I moved to Orlando, specifically, I was like, hey, I need to quickly rebrand from being the Detroit guy, because I had been selling, as you mentioned, like since 2008. And I was like, I need to rebrand myself. All my friends that are in the industry, the Tom Ferry people, the Maps people, the Keller Williams people, all the people that I've had goodwill with over those years, they saw me as Michigan Ken, if you will. And so I was like, I need to rebrand. If I'm going to go all in on Orlando, I need to start putting out Orlando kind of content that people would think Ken and think Orlando. That was my number one idea. It was just like, from an agent referral perspective, how do they know very clearly where I live now? And so I did that. And then beyond that, it was just kind of going from curiosity, just figuring out video, figuring out what works, what didn't work. I'm a very curious person in general. So like, I love the new development side. I love seeing what jobs are coming. I love to see, trying to stay, partisan politics aside, I love politics and figuring out how that affects us on a localized level, from the mayor and county commissioners and that sort of thing. And so I think my curiosity comes out in my content. And so that's sort of been my path. I think I lost him. See if he's going to come back. StreamYard is not as easy as some people would think. There's Bert.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can't see you yet.
Okay. Well, let's kind of move on. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm having technical difficulties here.
No, StreamYard's a tough one sometimes, man. I'll tell you what.
Yeah. I'm kind of bummed out. But regardless, I'm still happy to talk with you. So
sure.
You answered the question. Thank you. And here's out of curiosity. So you've obviously shown an ability to evolve, right? And what do you see happening in the real estate industry? And what do you kind of think is going to happen in the next 5 years in the real estate industry?
This might be just selfishly because this is the spot that I'm in, but I just feel like there's going to be a lot more haves and have-nots. I think the people that have built a true brand and created a true community are going to do more. And I think there's going to be a lot of agents that are not with teams or not with a good brokerage. Like, you don't have to be on a team. I just think that that's the easiest, most cohesive way. But if you are not leaning into this moment of that, people are going to be choosing their agent, if they want to pay their agent or not, all of these other things based on the value that you've brought and the brand that you've built. And so there's a lot of agents that are going to be left behind. I don't see how, if I didn't have the brand that I've built and the team that I have going into this next 2 to 5 years, I don't know how you survive, really. And so I think we're going to see a lot of teams grow exponentially because of it, because there's some amazing agents. By the way, if you don't have a brand, that doesn't mean you're not a great agent. It just means you were focused in on only clients and not, maybe you're paying Zillow and just assuming that they were going to take care of you, or you were doing something else, right? And so I feel like we're going to see these massive mega teams get formed where people are going to be flocking to brands. And I think clients want that as well. I mean, there's no longer where you go on a listing appointment and it's like, oh, I've got the MLS. Okay. Like, there's just they expect more from you now. And so having a clear value is going to be paramount. And so I think so to more succinctly, instead of that long drawn on thing, I think it's going to be more bigger mega teams and people that with really strong brands are going to win.
In summary, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that you're basically thinking there's going to be a huge consolidation on the top.
I do.
Yep, I gotcha. That's great insight. Now, I was listening to your interview with Jason Abrams, and you mentioned that, as you do more business, one of the things that we should all do is kind of reinvest in our business. And so the question then is, how are you, your team did like nearly 5 million at GCI. How are you reallocating those resources to kind of going with the next trends?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very much so red light, green light, trying to figure out what's working, what's not. If I'm spending money on something and I can't tie it back to an ROI, then I'm probably going to cut it after a while. And so we're investing back in our people more than ever. I mean, inflation's a real thing. So like, let's face it, like, we'll do 350 million or so this year in volume, but 4 years ago, the same number of units would have been like 200 million. So it still would have been impressive, but just not as crazy as it is. And in that, I have to spend a lot more on staff, a lot more on rent, a lot more on everything. And so making sure that we're hiring good talent, attracting good talent, and being able to afford them is one. And then reinvesting back in our systems and our marketing. So we're pretty tight on our budget. I do a monthly P&L. I'm running out exactly where I can spend and where I need to pull back. And then I'm saving for a rainy day. Like right now, I've got a war chest set aside on purpose that I've been building for the past 5 years that I'm like waiting for opportunity to hit. And I thought it was going to be maybe a market correction or a market crash where we could buy real estate on the cheap. Doesn't really look like that's happening. I mean, not yet anyways. And so in that, what I have found is that there's a lot of human capital out there that I can invest in. And there's a lot of people hurting that want great jobs and good culture. And so for me, I'm going to be investing back into human capital and growing our team that way, which allows us to build the brand, which allows us to bring on more agents and keep growing from there. So that's what we're doing. I
love it. I love it. That is awesome. Well, let's kind of switch gears, if it's cool with you. I want to talk a little bit about Orlando as a whole. Quite honestly, I've actually never been, and I want to take my kids to Disney World. So Next time I do that, I'm coming for a visit for sure.
Please do.
So talk about the Orlando market. And right now, looking from the outside, it looks like Florida as a whole, I mean, the population has grown exponentially. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you have a bunch of these Californians all moving to Florida. I mean, I know my clients are some of them have thought about moving to Florida. To give you some kind of perspective, I live in San Mateo County, which is basically the suburbs between San Francisco and Silicon Valley. And our median sales price is over 2 million now. Right? Wow. So that means, not that many people can actually afford to live here. So that's why we, as our area, we're seeing a lot of exits. So they're looking at Florida, Texas, some of these other states. And what is your market doing at this point in time?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I like to say our market's dynamic. I feel like we used to have not like no inventory. Everybody's moving here. The Airbnb market was really strong. The investor market was really strong. Multiple offers on everything. And over the past year and a half, it's really, slowed down a bit. So I feel like it's average days on market for our area is like 72 days. So it's like definitely longer than it used to be. The Airbnb market is pulled back rather strong, like hard. And so, but the suburbs are strong, the downtown's strong, the areas that have like, new development that maybe haven't oversaturated new construction are really strong. And so it's this weird, like markets within a market where I can go 20 minutes and there's 5 months supply of homes, and I can go on this side where there's 2 weeks of homes. And so weird for sure. And in all of this, you'd think that our overall pricing would have like gone down or stagnated, and it's not. It's still up like 2% this year. So I think we'll end up somewhere, maybe 3.5% up year over year. So that's our overall market. I feel like I said, it's just dynamic is maybe the best way I can put it.
Interesting. And then for the people that follow me that are thinking about moving to Orlando, can you give us the top 3 reasons why people are moving to Orlando?
Yeah, I think, there was a study that came out last week that was talking about why Orlando is like in the top 10 places to live in the country. And I think a lot of people are just, it's decent weather. It's not Southern California weather, that's for sure. Although my wife's there right now and she says it's hot. I don't know. And so it's weather, it's lower taxes, it's lots of things to do. Like you never get bored here. There's always, even if you're not into theme parks, like our outdoor life is really underrated. We've got beautiful lakes, we've got beautiful conservation land, just golf courses as far as you can see. So there's just a ton of stuff to do here. And so you never get bored. And then comparatively, real estate is rather inexpensive. I mean, you've got our average sales price is like 480 compared to 2 million. So your money goes a lot farther.
For sure. Well, now I'm curious, for $2 million, what can you buy in Orlando?
It depends on where you're looking. I mean, if you're looking near the theme parks, let's say it's in like an Airbnb area, you're probably able to get like a 8-bedroom house with a beautiful pool and like crazy entertainment and that kind of thing. And then if you're looking at like, one of our higher end areas like Winter Park, which has incredible schools and like hundreds of restaurants and just like, it's like the place to live, you're getting a much smaller place, like 4-bedroom, 3,000 square foot, 3,400 square foot, but a really, really nice build for $2 million.
Nice. And then, so just on the flip side, what are the top 3 reasons why people are leaving Orlando?
Yeah, I think it's our job market isn't as strong as yours. I think. Well, I don't know. I'm guessing. Southern California, Silicon Valley, and all that kind of stuff. I think a lot of tech jobs and that sort of thing. We're pushing for that. I'm one of them. Like I'm actually working with the city and the county and the state to help woo businesses here to have higher paying jobs. And so we have a lot of hospitality, a lot of tourism, some medical, but and then UCF is like the largest public university in the state. So we've got that all here. But beyond that, we need higher paying jobs. And so some people will say, hey, I'm getting priced out. Like I can't afford to work at Universal or Disney, or, I've got 2 incomes here. And unfortunately, like it's not enough for me. And so they end up going to Atlanta or Charlotte or Nashville. We're getting a lot of those people. If people are leaving, those are the cities it seems like they're more attracted to.
Makes sense. Well, finally, when I talk to people, I like to leave on a personal note. So yeah. I'm constantly looking for like family vacation, like ideas. If you had kind of like a bucket list vacation for the family, where would you go and why?
Man, that's a great question. Can I give 2 answers? So bucket list was Hawaii. We did that this year. Wow, gosh, the year's flying by. This year we spent 10 days in. We did LA for 3 days, and then we did Hawaii for 9. And it was Alani with Disney. We went Disney coast to coast basically. Nice. And so we got to just enjoy the beach and all the stuff that has and it happened. But if you come to Florida, there's a spot called Marco Island. It's just below Naples, which Naples is like one of the highest per capita incomes in the country. It's gorgeous beaches, great places to eat, but like there's a really, really cool spot right underneath Naples called Marco Island. So you should definitely check it out.
Love it. Awesome, Ken. Well, hey, thanks for taking the time. And I'm definitely going to catch you more on Content Lab.
Awesome.
And hopefully one day we'll meet in person.
Looking forward to it, man. Thank you so much for your time.
Yep. Have a good one.